And we're going to fade in here, and here we are. Hello, everybody.
Are we faded in?
We are faded in.
That one just has a delay.
Yeah, there's a little delay from what we say to what happens on YouTube, so we're live right now. You want to check and see if there's anybody with us?
Oh, yeah. Let's see here.
Just
need to find the mouse. Have I?
Oh.
Yep. Hi. Hi, Kim.
It's
Mark.
Kim and Mark.
Yeah, it looks like we got 4 people on here right now. Let's see how many we have.
So we're doing split streams on YouTube.
Because Paul likes to keep it confusing.
Well,
we have 1 on this channel and then 4 on this one.
okay, so the 1 is on the old channel and the 4 are on the new channel.
Oh, I see. Okay, so Marlene, you are on the, which channel? The live or the, yeah.
Marlene's on the old Bon Art Petite.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Sid's on here.
Yay.
Hey, Sid. We're doing good, Kim. Hopefully you guys are doing good too. It's still white outside, but it's mainly kept to the grasses and our driveway.
Yeah.
But
Did
yeah.
you point that light up?
I did. I pointed up. It's kind of like in my face a little. So
Okay.
I'm just gonna do this for now.
Well, we might as well turn it off because it's just.
I think it'll be okay, Paul.
All right.
So yeah, there we go. That's good.
There we go.
Okay.
We're trying some new lighting stuff.
Yeah, Paul got a whole bunch of new lights, and they're just a lot softer and more ambient.
Yeah. So we're trying to figure out because like I've got this light right here, but I'm seeing it's reflecting in my glasses. But you know, oh well, that's not a big deal. More important thing is when we switch over to our painting. And so welcome you guys. I know there's been a lot of changes, and I know it's a pain in the neck. We're gonna call it a pain in the neck, but it's just a pain. But as part of all this process, we've got split YouTube streams going on right now. We've got one that's going to the old channel that we did for Bon Art Petite, and we've got one that's going to our original channel for subscribers on the YouTube channel. And what else? Let's see.
Kim says, I have a digital membership question. Can I ask it here? Absolutely.
100%.
Ask away.
Ask away. I mean, I figure we're going to be answering questions today.
Yeah, and this is new, but it's like should be the last time ever that we change. I mean, as far as I know, I mean, knock on wood.
I'm not going to change again. It's too much of a
work
struggle.
Out really good. The shipping of product, as you guys saw in the last video, has dwindled down to where we're not really having to, we're not really able to access some of the wholesale discounts that we used to be able to. So we just kind of figured, well, we still want to put out the live streams. We still want to develop paintings. And we'll just do that and tell you what supplies to use. And for now, up until we say different, we're going to be using the paint we've been using, which is the System 3.
Yeah, and so I had somebody actually...
System 3 acrylics.
Somebody had asked a good question on the website today, and let's see, what's Kim's question?
Is our $6.99 automatically taken out, or do we have to renew every
No,
month?
if you do it through YouTube, it automatically comes out, and you cancel when you're ready. So that is part of it. Is just like this is going to be a lot easier for us and for everybody else too. It's just going to be that quick little getting used to going back to the YouTube thing. The other thing you'll notice is if you go onto our channel from a computer, for example, there is a community link that's like kind of like our own little web forum that we can use, and that's where we'll be posting like supply lists and things like that. I had somebody ask today via the website about she's been using other brands of paints, and she says the other brands paint looks different than our paint, you know, as far as like the colors and stuff. And she had asked, oh, what's the difference? Can you do some videos on that? And I said, yeah, we're going to do a deep dive on
Yeah,
kind of like
that would
what
be fun.
makes...
We could do a color chart.
Yeah, well, it's not even a color chart, but teach people how to make their own color chart, probably. Yeah. But the thing is, it's like you can go buy 5 different brands of phthalo blue, and you're going to get 5 different versions of phthalo blue. And usually what that comes from is just the pigmentation, how much pigmentation is in the paint usually.
Yeah,
So,
actually, Sid asked. So Sid, the new paints are very similar to some of the old colors in the pots. So the colors that you could use, you probably have a cobalt blue. That's going to be your cyan. This one here.
oh, for this one.
Phthalo red, and then any of the yellows. I think we usually used to send out like a craft yellow, and then this one would be raw sienna. So you could like. I could totally ship those colors out to someone, and they probably wouldn't know.
Yeah, but that might be something that we incorporate into the web page, because I'm going to do a supplies page, for people.
Yeah.
And we can probably go like, oh, if we're using this color, here are other alternatives you could use that are going to be close.
Yeah.
Especially in these process colors. Most of the time, if you get phthalo blue, it doesn't matter where you get it from. It's going to be close enough. But we're using these colors are process colors, so it's not like, I don't know of other companies that you can go get processed cyan acrylic paint. I'm sure you can. I haven't looked.
But if you use like phthalo red, it's going to be very similar. Just a blue-based soft red.
So one of the cool things that I do anticipate us doing in the future, though, is, and I think pretty soon, is product reviews.
Yeah.
Like trying different paints and showing you how they work, trying different brushes, things like that. In the past, we've always just kind of been like, let's make people buy our paint and not tell them what color we're actually using. So we're not going to do that anymore. Outside of that, feel free to shoot us questions as they come in.
Kim wants to know if we're making a new website. I actually I thought that because we'll have a different domain name.
We are making a new website.
We'll actually put a link right on our homepage.
A new website.
We'll actually put a link right on our homepage of Go Box Art Crate.
Yeah. It's going to be very stripped down. It's going to be more of a portfolio page. We will do, I think, we'll probably do holiday kits.
Yeah, and like some of the wood things that we've designed and cut ourselves or had like a local friend cut them at the wood shop. Those are items we can sell too. Yeah, so
we're not going to get into selling all of the project kits, but we'll probably do like each year we'll probably do a new batch of Christmas kits or something like that. I don't know that we'll probably, like the gnomes, for example, we'll probably do, but the challenge is getting paint at a price that's affordable.
This particular paint, other paints we can get. Kim asked, and how will you be communicating with us?
Okay, so what we're going to do is, if you are a member of the YouTube channel, you'll get notifications when we publish new upcoming live events. We are going to take the existing mailing list and just transfer it over to the new website. So we will still be doing emails. We'll still be using the Facebook page. We're going to rebrand that too. So that's not going to move. It's just going to the name's going to get changed. The logo's going to get changed. The website we are changing because there's a new editor available that I like better than what we were using before. And it just kind of felt like it was time for kind of a clean slate in that regard. And we thought we had the name picked, but now we're not sure.
Yeah,
but we're not we're not in a rush.
Picked, so.
Yeah, we're not in a big rush. So, but we will probably have all that stuff launched. I'm going to say at the end of March.
The name we picked, we won't say yet because we don't want to like put it out there quite yet. But we're trying to decide if it sounds too much like a mystical, mystical crystal shop at the beach.
Yeah, it does kind of, but I don't know. We'll see.
So let's go ahead and get started.
Let's get started and we can chat about that stuff. And I don't have no problem about talking about all that stuff. So I'm going to switch and watch this, you guys. I've got a new transition. Ready? Jenny, you ready?
Hey, somebody opened the blinds.
Somebody opened the blinds. So.
Oh, let's see it. I can't forget Marlene over here. It's kind of weird doing it split screen.
Yeah, we're going to.
Did you post a link for the digital subscription sign up on Facebook?
It has been posted.
In the newsletter link, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so in the Facebook group page, I had posted the link to the newsletter that went out today via email, and it is in there. There's a link for Bon Art Petite Art Club members and a link for YouTube.
I think she's meaning where do you sign up?
Yeah, probably the YouTube link on there, right?
Yeah, if you're just on our channel, there's a link on there on the menu that says join. But the announcement video we did on Facebook also has the link to the sign up on YouTube.
Yeah.
So, and then I can send it to you. We've posted it in several places, but it's super easy to share, so no problem.
I'm scooting you over a little.
Okay, yeah. Let's take the person whose picture is actually
your palette
important.
Was off
Okay.
the screen. Did you send Daniel a link?
He's not going to be able to make it. So Daniel's without power again.
Boy. Okay.
So, yeah, we've had just kind of a crazy weather week. So I bought a bunch of new lighting stuff, and the goal with the new lighting was to avoid glare, and I am not seeing glare on our instruction sheet.
No, that's nice.
Yeah. We've got this giant, like 36-inch ball about 2 feet in front of our faces, but it seems to work pretty good. That looks good.
Yeah.
So anyway, so this is a fun painting. I really enjoyed doing this one 3 months ago. And I need to refresh my memory here just a little bit. It wasn't 3 months ago. It was like a month ago.
February painting by the front door today, and we walked right past him.
Uh-oh.
Came in without it.
Okay, so I know where we're at. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start out with our largest brush. We're going to move this aside. If I put this like hit this now, that might leave it. That's all right. So, boy, I feel unorganized. It's been kind of a crazy week, you guys.
Yeah, it's been really weird. Like, some days we couldn't come in here.
Some days I couldn't even get down the driveway to get to my vehicle. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to use our biggest brush. And we're going to start off, we're going to mix together a little lavender. So we've got our cyan here, and we've got... yeah, Jenny, be aware, our overhead's a little lower.
Okay, so we're mixing cyan and magenta?
Yeah, cyan and magenta. And I'm going to add a tiny dot of yellow ochre to it just to tone it. That yellow ochre goes a long way.
Oh, so it's kind of greenish now?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's okay if it's a little bit on the greenish side. I'm going to add some white to it too.
So I just added a couple kids videos up today that are just freebies to everyone on our regular old YouTube channel that we always use. There's a snowman face and a gnome. So Kim, you can do that with your grandkids.
Yeah, so if you
Anyone
go,
else who wants to do it?
the YouTube channel we have been using for live streams, I renamed it to GoBox Archives. So if it says GoBox Archives, you're on the old one. If you're on GoBox, it's the new one. And so basically what we're going to do with this color,
Is there a certain color we're aiming for here?
Not really.
Okay. Just bluish grayish?
Bluish grayish, yep. Maybe a little bit more towards magenta.
Okay. Yeah, there we go.
And what we're going to do basically is we're going to start with these back trees.
The ones that are barely visible?
Yeah. And so to do that, I'm going to...
Hi, Susan. Glad to see you on here.
Just going to take this color. I think in my original, I think it's got a little bit more blue and ochre. It doesn't really matter because these are going to get glazed over. Kind of like how sometimes Jenny gets when I'm talking about technical details. Just gonna...
It's true. So we're kind of climbing up a hill here.
Yep. Just kind of fluff out the bottom edges.
Sydney, you never lost power or anything, did you? I know a lot of people around you did. Some of my friends, their power just came back on today. I'm sending good vibes out to Joanna. It sounded like they had been without power for several days, and I don't know if it's come back on yet. I saw some pictures from Newport, which is where Joanna lives, and it looked... Some photographer had taken a picture of the bridge there.
Uh-huh.
Newport Bridge, and it was like covered with ice the way our lilac bush was. Where it's like everything is completely encased.
Yeah.
It looked really pretty, but very treacherous.
So for those of you in the Midwest, be quiet. Until you've come and driven in it, be quiet.
We get a lot of ice here. I know we get made fun of a little bit, but we are also very hilly.
So I was looking into
and
that today.
Unprepared. We don't have a lot of snow plows.
Do you know what the tallest point in Wisconsin is? How high? Just guess a height and elevation.
Let's see. So sea level is like
0.
0.
Mm-hmm.
200?
It's about 1,400, but to put that in perspective,
Okay.
Parrot Mountain, which we live at the base of, is 1,200.
Okay.
And that's a tiny little hill for the Portland area. So we go all the way from about 50 feet above sea level to about 2,200 feet above sea level in various different peaks and points around the Portland area. And we don't get a lot of snow, but what we get a lot of is like we had about a half an inch of ice, just pure ice.
Encased. Everything encased
and
in
people
ice.
are like, you guys don't know how to drive in the snow. Well, we're not driving in snow for one. Why don't you just take a snowmobile to work? Well, there's no place to snowmobile in Portland.
There were videos of people standing and sliding while standing.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, Kim says, Emmy just painted one of the stars you sent, and I finished a mural from my art school, so that is done. Awesome.
Awesome.
And Sid says, I was very lucky, lost a big branch last night, but it hit the deck and missed my house. Great.
Well, that's good. Glad it missed your house.
Hopefully it didn't cause any damage to the deck. Our little dog kept wanting to go out. Like, she's just, like, obsessed with snow. And just wanted to be out all the time, which is really unusual because she normally doesn't. She's not an outdoor dog.
No,
and,
she doesn't like being outside a lot.
I kept worrying that she was going to get, like...
hit by
something.
All right.
We don't really have super heavy branches.
Well, the plum trees,
yeah.
the plum trees need to come out. But, all right, so we've kind of gotten this like kind of band here. And I'm going to take now a little bit more magenta and a little bit more cyan. So I am having glare with my eyeballs on the palette.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. It's from that light. The big old...
So I'm just mixing up a darker, more violet version. And basically we're going to have a bright spot right in here. I'm going to leave a bright spot right in here. But I'm going to start right on the bottom.
Kim says, Mark didn't always want to move to Florida until we had an ice storm and he fell on his butt one too many times. LOL, it will be freezing here tomorrow night. All my plants have to be covered or they'll die. Oh no.
Yeah, I heard that the iguanas might start falling out of the trees.
Yeah, he sent me that.
There was like a weather forecast for Florida, and
Iguanas fall.
I guess under 45 degrees they start falling out of the trees, and so they were issuing a falling iguana warning.
That'd be like Greta's like dream. Greta loves lizards.
I'm trying my new C3PO tumbler tonight.
Yeah, I was going to tell you there's carbonation in there, so I don't think those things are designed to have carbonation in them, so just be careful. The only reason is...
What?
Yeah, because it can bubble out because it's got such a small opening.
I think we're all right.
I feel like my paint's really dry.
Yeah, you know, the weather we've got could lead to that being pretty dry. So I'm just going to kind of fluff this out into the trees so it kind of blends in.
Susan, 16 degrees. Ugh, are you on the East Coast too, or you must be the other one that was in New Hampshire? I can't remember. I think, yes. Guessing.
Well, we had on Saturday, it was basically went between 13 and 14 degrees all day on Saturday, which that does not happen where we live.
I keep finding houses to buy on the East Coast, and Paul's like, that'll never happen.
I would miss the West Coast too much. Nothing against the East Coast.
I think the East Coast looks so pretty. Well, we've been to Boston, but it was super pretty there, but it was cold. I'd like to travel around to Vermont and some other places. Am I supposed to leave that light spot there?
Yeah.
Oops. Okay.
It's
Well,
all right
I
if you
will work
didn't.
around
It's
that.
all right. You can. I'll get rid of mine a little bit too, so you don't feel.
Yes, we will still paint on May the 4th. I was just thinking about that last night. It's funny. We're on the same track.
So I think the best thing to say is the only thing that's really changing is we're just not shipping supplies.
The monthly box or the
As
three
far as
monthly box.
us
Kitty
doing
box.
paintings and all that, everything, you know, our live schedule, our video schedule, all that's going to stay the same.
Yeah, we'll still do at least 2 a month.
Yeah, if not more.
We've set me up so that I can do a lot of videos from home because that's how we'll help build our YouTube channel.
Yep.
So like the little kids ones I posted, and I'll do some other ones that are whatever you guys want to do. It's just Paul won't be in a lot of those because they're done while he's working and I'm at home working.
Yeah.
So you'll just have me.
We've got some other stuff where production-wise I'm working on that'll be fun too.
Yeah.
So, all right. This bottom part is about, we're still working on step 1, but we're not going to do much more because this part becomes just becomes the background. So I'm going to take now just a little bit of our cyan.
Susan, where did you move from? Sorry, Paul. You said you're loving the East Coast. Where did you move from to before there? I'm sure we've had this discussion before, but
so I'm just
I'm not remembering.
taking a little bit of our violet color that we had just used and added a little bit more blue, and I'm adding some white to it. So I want this real pale color, and I'm just going to start up in the top. Well, let's do this. I'm going to work around my bright spot here real quick. So
you just did cyan and white?
I used a little bit of the violet color from below as well. I don't want this to be just too cyan and white. I'm going to test. I'm testing.
California.
Testing to make sure my trees are dry. They are. Because what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a little bit of extra white. Now, I want to make sure I don't have very much paint on my brush, so I'm going to wipe most of my paint off. Because we're going to take this color, kind of like we did in the Everglades painting.
As if any of us can remember that.
Where we glazed over using a lighter color to soften it up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Susan moved from Northern California to Epsom, New Hampshire.
Wow.
New Hampshire. That's awesome. I don't know, I follow several real estate pages on Instagram that are fun, like Cheap Old Houses is one, and Circa Homes is another, and
I tell you what we could get in Missouri for what we could sell our house for is impressive.
Well, I don't want to live in Missouri, but I would...
Be careful, because we might have...
I would consider...
I'd consider Missouri.
Would you?
Sure, why not?
Isn't it kind of flat there?
Yeah, every place has its benefits.
I would be more like Connecticut, Maine, New Hampshire.
If your paint starts to dry out, you can add a little dab of water to...
My paint is really covering my trees.
So thin it down, use less paint.
Yeah.
It's okay if you lose your trees a bit. You want them to just barely feel like they're there. I'm going to take a little bit of white now.
Drove your RV across country when you moved? Wow. Yeah, I do love the Pacific Northwest, though. It will always have my heart for sure. But it is very expensive to live here.
We get a little bit of everything.
It's very expensive, especially like I look around and I see the housing prices in other states. It's like, that's insane.
Now you know how Californians feel when they look at Oregon.
Yeah. I feel like Oregon's just, the real estate market has gone.
It's good. We already bought our house.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad, because a lot of people are having trouble finding houses, and then their monthly rent on their apartments is more than like our house payment.
Yeah, it's true.
Which is sad.
All right, so real quick, right down in here, I'm just going to take a little bit of white. Just kind of fluffer nutter that in there. we'll paint back over a lot of this. This is just kind of laying tones down. I'm going to take a little bit of white straight up from here. Straight up, now paint me right above the other light spot.
Marlene, what part of the U.S. are you in? I can't remember. I'm trying to get everybody sorted out. So I know, Susan, you are SB Gallery there on our page. And you are New Hampshire. Kim and Mark are former New Hampshire Floridans.
Yeah, I was giving out golf tips on the site, on the Facebook group today. It was totally relevant to the painting, though.
I haven't. Oh, Ohio. Okay, nice. Yeah, Ohio's another place where I've looked at the housing prices and gone, wow, I could get a really. I love the vintage homes that you can get, and so many of them are so neat. You know, one I haven't seen in a while is Faith. Faith's
Yeah,
been busy.
she got, well, she was doing, I had a little chat with her. She was doing all the live streams on
on the website.
And if you remember, the website quit working for the live streams. Which was kind of something that helped us guide us in our choice to just be like, time to move on. Time to turn the page. All right, so I'm going to take a little bit of extra white and just kind of brush it into this middle area real quick here. And I'm going to take this brush, I'm going to wipe most of the paint off of it. And I just want to, I'm going to kind of use it on edge. I'm just going to very lightly. I've got too much paint, but it's all right. Kind of get some streaks going. Mostly, sometimes we go very radial, but this time I'm going to go in more just right to left.
Oh, I want to tell you guys about a Facebook page that I've been on it for quite a while, but I realized the other day when I was going through some of the pictures on there, I thought, oh my gosh, I got to tell some of my groupies about this. It's obviously on Facebook, and it's called Free Reference Photos for Artists.
Oh, that's cool.
And it is people who are both professional and amateur photographers, and they just post pictures of, a lot of times it's scenery, a lot of times it's animals, sometimes it's flowers, just whatever. And they allow you to use them to paint from. So if you like, let's say I wanted to do an owl, and I needed like a specific breed of owl, I could type in on the search part of that particular page, I could type in and say barn owl. And all the pictures of any kind of owl usually will pop up. But you can use those and make paintings, like replicating, or replicating and changing some elements if you want. And you could sell your paintings, and you don't have like anybody coming after you for copyrights, because they are putting those on for free. And I wanted to just let you guys know you should go check it out if you are starting to do some painting on your own, which hopefully a lot of you are getting to where you feel comfortable doing that or close.
There we go.
Easy for you to say.
It's easy for me to say.
Susan has a Westie mix and a Shipoo. Isn't that, that's kind of like a Westie. Westies look a lot like your dog that you had, Ricky.
He was a cockapoo.
He was a cockapoo, but the main difference, like, that I would always see
I
was the ears.
used to say, is crap in 2 languages.
Crap in 2 languages. He was a cockapoo. He was such a good boy.
He was the best boy. He was
your buddy.
He was my buddy. I got him when I was like
So young.
7, and then he passed away when I was just about 22. But he used to be one that he would just, we'd go drive in places. He'd just sit in my lap in the car with his head on my arm, and till we'd hear cows, and then he'd want to go chase the cows.
Yes, Kim, it's called Free Reference Photos for Artists. Let me make sure that's the exact name. I was just on it yesterday. Yeah, Free Reference Photos for Artists.
Well,
and people post on it all the time, and they'll say things like, does anybody have a picture of a flamingo? And people will comment with tons of pictures they've taken of flamingos they're free.
So we've got a good start. I'm just going to show you. It's pretty close. We're going to, I wasn't too worried about this part being too intense right now because we got another row of trees, and then we're going to kind of re-enhance that. But we're going to play around with the sky a bit more later, because this type of thing that we're going to do on the sky is something I think we're going to kind of lean into a little bit more through this year of doing painting.
What are we going to lean into?
The techniques I'm going to be showing in the sky.
Oh. Okay.
So we need to let it dry a little bit. But what we're going to do next is we're going to create, if I'm bringing in the original painting. This is an interesting painting because I painted it. I didn't immediately love it, but I had it hanging on the wall next to my desk for a couple of weeks. And the more I glanced over and saw it, the more I liked it, the more I liked it, the more I liked it. And is it my favorite painting we've done in here? No, but it's in that top 10. So it's one that really grew on me, and I'm really happy with this one.
Did you start this one more than once?
No.
Okay.
No, there was, which one did I start more than once? I think March's painting is the one I started multiple times.
Oh.
Well, March's painting started as February's painting, then took a wrong turn in all kinds of directions, got set aside, then got started again. Actually, I've got all the versions of it right over here. Hold on, let me grab them real quick because I want to let this kind of dry a little bit.
You're buying time.
I'm buying time. Oh, actually, no, it started as February's painting. Oh, crap.
What is that noise next door?
I don't know. They're moving out, so
Oh, they're working.
they might be cleaning.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. So the Crocus Pocus painting.
Hey, I came up with that name. Don't you think it's fantastic?
It's really good. So this is Crocus
They're
Pocus.
like poking through the snow, so I'm like, Crocus Pocus.
Yeah. So Crocus Pocus. This is next month. This is actually very similar to this month's painting.
They look like they could be part of the same.
Yeah.
scene
Well, there were
up on Mount Hood
elements.
somewhere.
There were elements that I really liked in this painting that I wanted to recreate in this one. Because sometimes I feel like it's nice to kind of carry elements from one month to the next, as long as it's not the same painting. But I had originally started a crocus painting, and this is what I came up with to start.
It has potential.
And I liked it. I loved the sky. But then I started doing the crocus, and I started having flashbacks to the daffodils.
Oh, yeah.
And while I love the daffodils, and I know a lot of people like the daffodil paintings last year, I do remember
The struggle.
it was a struggle to teach it live. So
Someone
I was like,
just ordered a daffodils kit recently that I shipped, and I'm like, should I put a note?
so then I was like, okay, that's not going to work. I came up with the one I did, the Crocus Pocus. And then I was like, okay, let's rehash this one for February. And I liked the sky and the clouds and the suggestion of cherry blossoms or something in the background. So then I was like, okay, let's try that again. So then I did the sky, kind of, and then the cherry blossoms, and it felt like something was missing. And then I put in this dark band of trees and these big trees. And I was like, nope, that's not what I wanted. Like, it's okay. I'm not arguing, I'm not complaining about the painting, but it's not what I wanted. So
Got a little muddy.
It got a little muddy through the middle. There was a lot of green in here. Actually, this whole base area was green. And then I would check with Jenny.
Yeah,
Jenny and I was like, "Well, should I put a lake in or something?" She's like, "Yeah, put a lake in." And then I put the lake in, and I put in these fir trees, and I'm like, all of a sudden, like the fir trees made the cherry trees look like they must be like gigantic, enormous trees. And so I was like, this one little bit, just like everything went sideways in a hurry, and I was like, nope, this isn't gonna work. So then I went back, started with our sky again, came in with the clouds, made the cherry blossoms smaller, left the green in there, left our green in here, and here we have, I don't remember what we called it.
Isn't it Spring Meadow? I think
Spring
it's
Meadow.
yeah.
So this was the final painting. So now you guys get a little better window into what happens sometimes when we're developing paintings. This one though went pretty straight through. All right, back to where we're at. Sorry about all that.
It's kind of fun to see all the.
What do we got?
Uh,
What do we got? Jenny's catching up on.
I got booted off and couldn't find my way back. Oh, on the on the YouTube page. They were talking about Susan moving across the country.
Oh, gotcha.
With two dogs. I have to take my reading glasses off. Little dogs, a Westie and a Shippo and cats in the RV.
Wow.
You know, you'll always remember that trip.
Yeah. So, all right. So the next step we're going to do is we're going to do our mid-ground trees and base for where our waterfall is going to be. And I'm going to stray a little bit from the instructions because a lot of times, like when I'm doing like a painting like this where it was a one and done, like I didn't repaint this one. I took pictures as I went, and you can see it in the photos sometimes. You'll see development, stuff that shifts and changes. But a lot of times I feel like when I'll actually skip notation on some of those changes because I don't want people to get too involved. And so like the waterfall, for example, started out really wide and then it ended up being much smaller because it was out of scale. But what we're going to do is we're going to mix up now a little bit more of our violet.
Cyan magenta.
Yeah, just cyan magenta. I want it to lean a little bit more towards the blue side of violet.
Okay.
And basically what we want to do is we're going to cut.
Oh, you're putting this straight on there.
Yeah.
What are you doing with that? Are you making landforms?
Well, yeah, I was going to explain it.
Oh, sorry.
We're just going to kind of cut right across here. I'm mostly looking at it's a little bit too blue. So I'm going to add a little bit more magenta and just a touch of ochre. Yellow ochre. There we go. So that just kind of tones it down, makes it dark without being black. A little bit more cyan. It doesn't really matter. It just needs to be dark. And I'm just going to cut across, maybe about a brush width.
And it's just straight across.
Yep, straightish.
Right through the sunbeams.
Yep, don't worry about those sunbeams. We'll bring them back in. And I'm just going to kind of fluff this off up into the trees a bit.
Fluff away.
Leave the bottom edge a little harsher.
I would not have thought that we were going to be... Oh, are you leaving a gap in the middle?
No, you can.
Oh, okay. I had already painted over it, so it's too late.
Boy, you just keep jumping ahead. No, I'm just kidding. It's fine. It doesn't matter if you do or don't. It's probably better if you brush it out a bit. All right, so we're going to paint some trees. Now, these trees are a little bit different. So actually, is your blue jay here?
Yep, I'll grab it. It's right behind me.
So I wanted this to feel like the forest that the blue jay's in, although Jenny's got a lot more greens and yellows. But I noticed that the branches on her tree are swooping down more. So that's kind of what I wanted to do with my branches on my trees. So I'm going to take this dark color. I'm going to start with one right about here, and I'm just going to start with my big brush. Start with the top of a tree. It's going to be taller than the trees in the background. And I'm just going to It actually needs to be a little bit darker. I'm not going to add black to it, but I'm going to make sure it's got a little bit more of that ochre in it. There we go. And we're just doing this kind of down with a little flip. It's kind of like the way the kids do their ice cream haircuts.
Yellow ochre sounds like a food.
It's unripened
that
ochre.
looks like an evil face. Wonder what part looks like an evil face.
What part looks like an evil face?
Probably on your
it could
palette.
be.
You're doing Daniel's job, Kim.
Yeah. Well, somebody's got to do it. Next man up.
Didn't he send pictures of like his cabin? It was like, what was the degree?
Minus 12.
Minus 12 in Idaho.
Yeah, the family.
But he wasn't there.
No, it's the family vacation cabin. Almost a little too blackish, but that's okay. We're going to live with it. Yeah, I'm going to do one more kind of shorter one just to the left of it. So one of the guys that works next door, Jenny, he's a young guy, he's late 20s, and he's from Hawaii.
Uh-huh.
I can't remember his name. It's a very Hawaiian name. Huh. And when he's next door, he sings a lot. Like, really loud. Like, and I don't think he knows that we can hear him, but I don't know that he would care. Super nice guy. But he was belting it out today.
Karaoke time.
Yeah. I think that's Mark, though. So that tree is a little bit further back. It's a little bit more blue. That's okay. None of this really matters that much, as long as we can see that there's similarities. Do another one a little bit further over to the right.
You guys could probably use a smaller brush too.
Yeah, I think you can, but I think this is easier. Because we don't want to. No, listen.
Because we don't want.
We don't want it to get too short and choppy.
Okay, got it. Maybe my big brush is just a little frayed.
It's okay if it is, though, because this is a background. It's not supposed to be hyper detailed.
That's right.
Just kind of soften that out.
Are you purposely making them different colors?
No.
Okay.
But it's okay if they are.
Yeah, I like it that way.
That one's a little darker, and that's okay because it's a little closer and taller. I'm just going to kind of do one more, just real small little suggestion of one right here. Fluff it out.
Kim, I think you're talking about an emoji. A little round yellow face. An emoji.
And then let's just do two on this other side.
Oh, will you be suggesting any particular paint brands? Absolutely.
Yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to post links to the actual brands we use for the painting. So we are going to be using, for the foreseeable future, this System 3 Process Color Kit.
Yeah, because you guys will have those left over through March and probably beyond.
Yeah, and I think that this particular kit is a great blend of quality and price. I know, like, if you order it, if you order this kit like on Amazon or from Dick Blick, I think it's about $36. $36 to $40 is kind of the going rate for this particular kit. And I feel like that's actually a really good price for 6 colors.
Yeah.
You're like about $6 a tube, and that's actually
really good.
that's actually pretty cheap. You start getting into some of the bigger name brands, Golden in particular. You're going to be like closer to $9 to $10, $12 for that size tube. You get what you pay for sure. I think Golden is a little bit better quality, but not enough, not so much that it's like I don't know what I'm trying to say right there.
I started using, so there's a couple different, several different Instagram artists that I follow because I like their really loose style of art, and it's the type of art that I want to learn to try and do so that I'm not like over detailing everything. You guys know that's the bane of my painting existence is over detail. And he uses a specific color assortment of golden fluid acrylics, and so I went on and I bought every single one, and it wasn't a huge amount. It was probably, I don't know how many, maybe 12 paint bottle colors, but I love them, and they go a long ways, and they're really super fluid. So if you like the feel of
the paints we used to use,
I feel like they're even more fluid than that. In fact, I don't use the white in that particular set, and I don't use the black in that set either. So that's one good thing to know is you can buy a less expensive white and black and have it be even better. But one of the things that I really love that this particular artist does, I can't remember his name, I have to look it up on my art account. He does he draws out what he's going to paint with, I think he uses Posca marker, so that's acrylic paint marker, and it's a thin one, so it's not like he has really thick outlines. And then he glazes over the entire thing with a really reddish, it's called nickel something, I can't remember, really reddish brown paint. So the whole canvas board, he uses a clay board. He uses clay board.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy expensive. I've bought clay board before, but only teeny tiny ones because they're so crazy expensive. But yeah, he glazes over the whole thing, lets that dry, and then adds bits of colors in here and there, and I just love it. Let me find his account really quick while we're waiting for this part to dry, and I'll be able to tell you his name, I think. Hopefully. Gotta look at all the people. My art account, I don't follow a huge amount of people, so I might be able to find it pretty easily. But watching the process is really, really neat. I will find it. I'm trying to find a particular artist.
So the main thing, like,
I'll type it in, you guys, when I find it.
The difference in like price and paints typically has to do with the pigment density, and then how much it gets blended, so how smooth the paint is. So cheaper paint's usually going to be a little bit rougher, and it's going to take more paint and coats because there's less pigment. So
there's so many good artists.
let's see. Can you read to me what Kim said? I've got the wrong glasses on. Something about the invoice. Will you be...
Oh, Paul, you mentioned you would be invoicing for the kits we just received. Will you be taking it directly from our account or another way?
I will send the invoice, and then you guys will just have to pay the invoice. I don't have a way of just taking it out of somebody's account. You know what? We only had 8 people left on that monthly plan, and Kim's the only one who replied to the email. So,
Well, sometimes it goes.
yeah.
Good job, Kim.
Good job, Kim. The amount of response from our emails about the changes has been slightly discouraging.
It's okay.
It's
People
okay.
are busy. They're
I
not
get it.
thinking about
I get it.
cleaning all the time. Okay, so I found the person, and I will type it in here so you guys can follow, or at least just look at the account. You can see the paintings are very similar to the guy William Hawkins, who I love. But the process is really cool, starting off with the really reddish tint. So what is his name? James Musil. Jim Musil Painter. Let me type that in.
Do it.
I'm just giving him a little shout out. I think he does pretty well.
So somebody ordered 1-ply paper towels.
That was you.
They don't work as good.
This guy might, yeah, he probably has a website too. Where's he based at? He's in Minnesota. Nice. Let's see him.
All right, so we are going to now work on our stream that goes up into...
Oh, he has a YouTube channel too. Jim Musil Painter on YouTube.
He's probably going to try to get you to subscribe to his channel to learn how to paint, and so we just sent people to our competitor.
No, he's just, he doesn't have very many videos. It just shows his process.
Okay.
I think just filming, like, I don't think it's a step-by-step thing.
So I want to bring this in.
These are just 1-ply toilet paper.
Yeah. Let's not, yeah. We had to buy some during 2020 because we just didn't have a choice. We learned our lesson.
It's so funny to think about how people were.
So this is our waterfall in the original, and one of the things I want to point out about this, and this is something that this type of painting, we've done these little waterfalls over the years many, many, many times, and one of the things that happens is people get very vertical. So they do the stream coming down this way, and then it just doesn't feel like it belongs there. It looks like it's like a ladder or something. It just doesn't feel right. But if you'll notice, this little part right here kind of jogs to the right a little bit and then just stops because it's going off into behind trees. And then it kind of comes, who knows how far over this way it comes, but then it comes back across as it's meandering its way. It comes way back over here. We don't see that. And then it comes and just falls.
It must be like the Sanium River.
Something. But that's like, this is if you want little streams and stuff to feel like they're going off into the distance. Don't get vertical with it. Get horizontal with it, but have it get really narrow really fast. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the things that people, like, again, people have a tendency of going, well, it's going this way visually. And what happens is it looks like somebody just painted a racing stripe on it and it doesn't resolve itself. So you want to try to get this little more horizontal meandering going. So with this painting, I'm going to use my number 4. I'm going to take a little bit of white mixed with the tiniest little amount of cyan. I want this to be lighter. And I'm just going to start below. See, I've got this little dark little area here. I'm going to start below that. And just kind of go a little bit to the side.
You're using your number 8?
Number 4. And it kind of comes back this way. Get a little bit thicker. Disappears, comes back across here. This is the top edge of my waterfall. Doesn't take a lot of paint, y'all. My little bit of Bama roots just came out there, even though I've never been to Alabama. My family's from there, so. And then
Count.
it does count. But my grandma's straight out of Compton, so. All right. Take a little bit more of this color. And so for the waterfall, what we want to do is we just want to take and just very loosely just drag straight down. Maybe there's a little. We'll come back and hit this up with a little bit more white.
The waterfall's blue.
It is. It's icy. You know, Multnomah Falls froze.
Yeah, it looks really cool. It looks like a frosted cake.
So, you know what's interesting? I looked up something today. Because again, so on Wednesday, which was our iciest day, Portland Trailblazers had a game and one of their players was unable to make it to the stadium. And so Twitter has been roasting him for not wanting it enough. And as far as the national media. And so, of course, those of us who live in Oregon and Portland are like, you don't know what you guys are talking about. And anyway, I looked up something really interesting today just out of curiosity. Do you know how many mountain ranges are in Oregon, Jenny?
7?
50.
No way.
There are 50 mountain. Now, some of these mountain ranges
I
are
was
just
going to say 50.
are just a couple of mountains, but like Chehalem Mountains, that's one.
Oh, really? They count?
That counts
That's
as a
like
mountain
coast,
range.
Is that considered coast range?
No, that's its own little mountain range.
Here in Newburgh.
Okay. And so, and most of those mountains have at least one peak over 1,400 feet or so. And then, so anyway, that's to give you an idea of how many mountains we've got. It's
mountainous.
It's mountainous. So people who think it's just powdery little snow on a flat road. Shut up. Just kidding. All right, so that's there. That's just our little start. We'll work on that a little bit more, but I'm going to take a little bit more of this kind of icy blue color. And I'm just going to kind of start to yeah, just want to just kind of start smudging this in around this edge here. This can go all the way off to the side of the canvas if you want. Remember Misty Mountain Woods?
Yeah, that's
this is kind of a variant of that.
You're going to be teaching that.
I am.
Pretty soon, the live classes, in-person classes, the sign-ups have been so slow, but part of that, I think, is the website that the Art Center uses doesn't allow them to show photos, so a lot of people aren't going to sign up for a class if they can't see a photo of what they do.
What's up with that?
I don't know. It's really bizarre.
That doesn't sound like it's very efficient.
Oh, I was going to offer you up to...
No. Well, okay, yeah, I'll do it. They got to pay me. They got to pay me. They've got to bring the money. Yeah, we're cooking along pretty good on this. Which I bet Greta's glad of. Hi, Greta. She's waving. She says hello, everybody. We're going out for Mexican food after this. So.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to tag along for that.
She has had no school all week because of the weather. So
all week. And in the last couple days, it's been, they've made us still wake up at like 5 something in the morning to find out. But yeah, it's like an extra Christmas vacation.
I'll give you an idea of how bad the supply chain was this week. Hayden and I went to get McDonald's yesterday, and they were out of soda.
That's so weird. And then you went to get gas.
Gas, and they were out of regular and medium grade. I had to fill the 20-year-old truck up with premium.
I bet it loved it.
It does. I actually do like to run about a tank through about every 5th tank or so.
It was
anyway,
loving life. It's like it got a gourmet steak.
Yeah. So, And then we went to Papa Murphy's to pick up pizza for Hayden tonight, and they literally had two 2 liters of Diet Pepsi and 3 Sprites. That was it. That was all they had in the whole building. So yeah, we walked next door to the Dollar Tree and got Pepsi.
Hayden's very routine. As much as we try to get him to just try different pizza besides Papa Murphy's.
Yeah.
Because Papa Murphy's it's like biscuit crust and it's
Yeah,
weird.
don't get me going.
But he just likes, he's like, no, we're gonna, like, even if he didn't like it, he probably, because it's routine.
It's routine. Okay.
He's gonna stick with it.
So now this painting, let's see, how are we doing on time-wise? We're at an hour, right at an hour.
6:30.
Right at an hour. So
And we yapped our chops for 12,
we did.
15 minutes.
So this painting is kind of good that we're doing some chattering because we need to let things dry. But I'm going to switch now to my number 8. And I'm going to get just some pure white. And I'm just going to refresh this area right here. And I'm just going to kind of softly like feather it out a bit up into the, so it's not just a harsh blob. Now with the number 8, I'm going to take now, I'm going to look at some of my little streaks. I'm going to get a little bit more fresh paint on here because I want to take and re-enhance very lightly a few of these streaks, and some of them are going to cut in front of the trees, some of them are going to cut behind the trees.
Some of them are going to feed the trees.
Some of them are going to feed the trees. Most of them are going to cut in front of this tree, maybe stop at this tree. And that's what I did with the original, was just kind of kept doing this. And it's kind of funny. I don't know. I just paint at work. So I don't know. I always wonder what my employee thinks. He and I don't speak the same language, so I don't know.
You're able to enough.
Yeah, but he's never once asked me about why are you sitting there painting.
He knows we're in the art business out of here.
Yeah. I always think it's interesting. Like, this guy's here running a business. He's just sitting there painting a picture.
Well, Tarine's doing all the hard work. That's what he's thinking.
His work's just the mental work. I got to do all the planning and stuff.
You have to deal with all the phone calls.
You know what's nice? This week, a lot of the country got hammered by weather.
Oh, yeah, I did hear about that.
So it didn't like, my calls it was really quiet this week for, compared to usual. So I think it's because everybody was kind of hammered and people are pretty understanding. All right, so next step we're going to do is we're going to do our 2 big more foreground trees, and then we're going to kind of do our foundation in here, and then we'll from that point on we've just kind of got little highlights and shadows and stuff to do, and it goes pretty quick. But I need to zoom out just a smidge more. Smidge. There we go. I feel like we need like a really big monitor.
Why?
So that we can read all the comments easier.
Oh, well, you just need stronger glasses.
That could be. Well, I've got my progressives on, but I just can't quite read. I think we just need a bigger monitor. I think what we're moving things around a bit. So I think next week, when you're teaching, I'll be able to kind of pilot the tech side of things a little bit more, and then I'll be able to teach you. So All right, so next step on this, we're gonna do our 2 bigger trees, and we're gonna do the same process. I don't wanna use pure black, but I'm gonna use black. I'm gonna add a little blue to it, cyan. I'm gonna add a little bit of yellow ochre to it.
Biggest brush.
Yep, biggest brush.
Black, cyan, yellow ochre.
Yep. It's gonna be just a really dark, almost black green. Godzilla green, we'll call it.
Godzilla green.
Godzilla green. Kind of what we just painted our theater space with.
It's a good color.
It is. And I'm gonna go a little bit taller just off to the side of this first tree. And I'm just gonna do the same technique. This is just a smidge down from the top of the canvas. I need a little bit more black in there as I work my way down.
Because you want it to be different than the ones behind it?
Yeah, you want it to definitely be visibly darker. I think I saw a comment pop up.
Oh, let's see. I'm focused on the invoicing and a way for you to get your money faster. Do you use Venmo or Zelle? Yeah, I have Venmo.
No, it's easier just for me to just send her an invoice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's more that I've just been preoccupied with other stuff and not too terribly concerned about getting the invoices sent out immediately. But I have canceled everybody's plans at this point, and I just need to send out a couple of invoices. Mostly because, Kim, you were the only one that replied, so I actually need to reach out directly to the other people.
Put their name in the subject line.
Yeah, I might have to.
With the word invoice, they'll open it immediately.
Yeah. Well, I can see that people open the email, they just didn't reply to it. So that makes it awkward because I'm like, I'm not sure exactly what I'm supposed to do.
Well, that is life, though. I do that all the time. And a lot of times I'll just mark the email as unread so that when I open my inbox next, when I actually have time, then I can look at it again. And it's real easy to forget.
Okay, real quick. When you get down to the bottom down here, just kind of smudge out and smudge away from your light source so it kind of creates...
How far down are you going? All the way to the bottom?
No, just about here.
Okay.
Leaving about 2 inches below, and then I'm just going to create kind of a little bit of a shadow underneath. We'll come back in and pop some land in to kind of more clearly define it. This week has really mentally been a real struggle for me. That's not nice. Sometimes you're just flat out mean.
No, really though, not being able to come in, not being able to get down the driveway.
Well, then I also had a dental appointment yesterday, which was just a teeth cleaning, but it's one of those things where it's like I have a hard time. It's like I have undiagnosed ADHD, and it's one of those things where it's like I get it needs to be diagnosed because it's like if you have one of the symptoms is if you have a dental appointment in the afternoon, you can't get anything done during the day because you're so focused on the fact that you have the appointment in the afternoon. It's kind of weird. Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna do one more tree over here on the right, and it's gonna be really close to this other tree, but it's gonna be just to the right of it. I think I just get so focused on being on time that everything else kind of takes a back seat.
Yeah, that's common for people who have ADHD.
When I say it's undiagnosed but pretty well known, I do those surveys online, and they're like, if you get 4 out of 10, I'm like, I got 11 out of 10. How do what's that mean?
Probably should get diagnosed.
I do, but I don't want to do medication for it.
They don't just do medication. Like
I know
that.
that.
But yeah, the medications for it can take a while to get it sorted out to where you're taking the right one and the right dose.
Yeah, and I'm not interested in being wrong. It could be dental phobia as well.
Yes, he does have a bit of dental phobia. For sure.
I did for a while. I got it dialed in. By the way, Sid, I'm going to get braces.
Yes, Paul gets to get braces.
So Sid, if you guys are wondering, Sid's my sister. So Sydney's my sister. But I've got some major crowding in my teeth, and they're like, you know what? If you don't get that fixed, you're gonna just have more and more problems. So
like your jaw, you'll have some problems with your jaw.
Yeah, and it's right in the front. So they're like, you really should get it fixed, or else you're gonna lose teeth and then have weird gaps and all that fun stuff. So yay for being a brace face at the age of 50.
Smoke some weed. Before the dental appointment.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, for your ADHD.
Oh, I'm not a big fan of inhaling smokes.
But you
and
could
stuff.
do edibles.
Edibles, and I've heard that there's actually a bunch of good like seltzers and stuff now.
Or even
not
just
just
CBD oil.
Yeah, CBD oil.
Does that help you at all? Like,
I don't know. I don't really have anxiety about it, so.
No, like just ADHD.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've never tried.
Focus thing. You need to get some of those like lion's mane mushroom.
No, I have that drink.
Yeah.
That's supposed to help with that.
I found lion's mane tincture that I can get with my wholesale.
Oh yeah, Jenny's training to be an herbalist.
I am. I'm taking online classes because it's something that I bought an online course a while back.
Didn't you buy
2019, I think.
Yeah, it was before the pandemic.
Yeah, and I should have done it during the pandemic, but we were really getting GoBox going then, and I just kept thinking, I'll go back to it. And I took my first module, and
All right,
yeah.
next step. I'm just kind of mixing
Offer you guys herbal cures along with your paintings.
just a little lighter kind of lavender color, so cyan.
Oh, that's the lavender?
Yeah, cyan, magenta, white.
Kind of a toned down lavender?
Yeah.
Or are you aiming for lavender?
I'm aiming more. No, it needs to be toned down. So
Okay.
don't use, like a lot of times I'll use ochre to tone it down. I don't want that greenness in there. So just going to add a little bit of black. Not something I typically do, but that's what we're going to do. Just going to kind of brush it in and around.
I need to be a little darker.
Yeah, mine could be a little bit more blue. A little bit more lavender, actually. Got a little bit more too gray. But it's okay. This is an easy color to add color over the top of if you get too gray. And when I start getting into this light area, I'm just going to kind of dab and break it up.
Oh yeah, Paul's gonna get the Invisalign on the top, I think.
Yeah, probably.
I think the bottom teeth are need a little more than Invisalign.
They're a little too jacked for that.
And he would have got braces as a kid, but the dentist or the orthodontist he was
No, just a dentist.
Oh, they were doing some experimental thing, and Paul was one of the experiments.
Yeah, it didn't work.
They were using something called an occlusal guide, and
It was basically like a precursor for Invisalign, but it required you to put it in your mouth and bite down as hard as you can for 30 seconds, then release for a minute, then do it for 30 seconds for like 10 minutes a day, which doesn't seem like much, but when you're 11 or 12 years old,
you probably have undiagnosed ADHD.
and undiagnosed ADHD, it just was, there was no chance of that succeeding.
Did your mom used to try to yell at you and tell you, make sure you do that?
Mm-hmm. So it was a combination of that and retainers that were like, we had to crank the retainers to spread my jaw.
Oh, how weird.
Yeah, they had like little adjustments, little adjustment screws, and I totally had a parenthood moment and lost the retainer in the garbage at McDonald's once.
Did you?
And it was like, my retainer! You guys remember that in that
I
movie?
remember it. That movie, yeah. Steve Martin.
That was Keanu Reeves
Yeah,
too.
it was a really good movie. And little Joaquin Phoenix.
Little
was
Joaquin
like
Phoenix.
12. No, I think he was like 14.
I think he was supposed to be about 12. All right, so I'm gonna bring a little bit more of our kind of warmish, purpley kind of color into this corner. A little more black, a little bit more blue, tiny bit of magenta. Just to kind of keep it from being so flat. Now you can take this color too if you want to make it a little darker. I'm just kind of mixing into the existing color because I don't want to have like this big harsh shift, but you can use this to...
Are these shadows? Or what are
This, those are just texture.
Oh.
Not everything needs explanation. It just needs to be there.
I need explanation.
Then he's like, I need a full detailed account of why these are here.
It will help me understand why I'm painting them. So it's texture.
It's texture.
Okay, I can do that. Oh, palette expander. 2/3 of
Yes.
our girls had braces and had to start with them. Very painful. Oof.
Yeah, that was fun. That was the easy part.
We used rubber bands. That's what we had to start with. And I think Greta and Hayden started with rubber bands too.
Yeah, but with our kids, they were trying to pull things in because they had spacing that they were trying to close up, whereas I've always had crowding that they're trying. You can't.
No, our kids had small mouths and lots of teeth.
Yeah, but you can't create extra space with rubber bands.
Yeah. Okay. What? Huh? Yeah, you had crowding.
No, well, that's what I've got. So I don't know.
You did it. It's your fault.
It's my fault. Jenny, who got her first cavity like 2 years ago, and has.
That's
like,
not true.
Your family all have like good teeth and good eyes, and like my family's like. Oh.
Good eyes? What are you talking about? I wear like contacts and reading glasses.
But neither your brother nor your sister
That's
do.
right. They're 20/20.
Yeah, and Hayden's 20/20.
Greta's 20/20.
I was 20/20 until I was about 20.
Hayden's actually.
No, I take that back. I started wearing glasses in
Hayden's
3rd
like
grade.
2024 or something. Like the second number's higher.
See, I need to bring him with me golfing to be my caddy. Like, I need a spotter when I play.
He'd find it.
I tell you what, I've gotten really good at figuring out where my ball goes just by feeling where it went.
Ugh, I would have a hard time too, because are you, I can't remember, are you nearsighted or farsighted? Like stuff up close for you is
Oh, yeah. Fine, yeah.
Yeah, so you're same as me.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
My ball gets out to about 150 yards, and I can't see it past there.
I think a quick solution is to put Paul in one corner and Jenny in the other and ring that bell.
And do what?
Ring that bell.
Yeah. All right, so this is actually working really cool. It's a little bit different in this foreground area. Right through here, but I like this better than what this is. This is cool. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is good, but I like this
Yeah.
breaking up kind of feel. Because breaking up is hard to do.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. So we're getting really close to being done. Where are we at? We're at 1 hour and 20. I would say we probably got about 10 more minutes.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, so I'm going to take my number 4. I'm going to mix up we can take this color we've been working here and just add more white to it, so it's kind of a pale lavender. And you can take this now and just add a suggestion of some snow on some of, just really kind of just the middle towards the light source side of the canvas. So middle towards the right for these trees that are left of this light source. This one right here, we're just gonna kind of just kiss it up with some snow a bit here. Nothing super fancy there. Now this tree here, we're gonna add mostly on the left side, a little bit in the middle. You want to kind of go towards the middle.
And very little paint on the brush.
Very little paint on the brush. You can do a little bit on this tree, these trees too. But remember, these branches that come towards you aren't going sideways. They're going towards you, yeah.
Are you using this lavender color on all the trees?
Yeah, we're going to come back in and add a little bit of some brighter green into the two darker trees, because they're close enough that we're starting to see some of the green of the pine needles and stuff like that. I'm just going to kind of really quickly hit this tree up, hit this tree up. Really what this does is it kind of takes the harshness out of some of these trees.
Can kind of work as a thinning out.
Yeah. You don't want to go too low. You can take a little bit of very small amount and kind of brush some spots in. I want to leave this kind of like ridge though. Do a little bit on this big tree here. But this isn't something that should take a long time. I don't want you to overthink it and start placing.
Late. Kidding. Kind of.
You're kind of kidding. And take a little bit of this and add a little bit of snow highlights down in this lower part.
Back when I was your age, we couldn't afford braces. Braces are so expensive now. Both our kids was like $6,000.
Hey, Lee had braces. I don't know what happened. I think maybe she was the only one who did. No, Sid, you had braces, didn't you?
Maybe Sid just had nice teeth from the start.
I don't remember. I was too young to remember if Sid and Terry did. I know Lee did. Good old Terry Dissinger, former NBA player.
What?
That was our the orthodontist.
Really? He was a former NBA player?
Yeah.
That's bizarre.
It's because back when he was an NBA player, they weren't paid.
Like a huge amount.
Yeah.
Not like they are now.
No. And we all went to school with his kids. Actually, one of Sid's very best friends is his daughter. She's been into paint many times.
What's her name? Well, we probably don't want to say it on here.
No, we won't do that.
Yeah, I do know some of Terry and Sydney's friends have come into paint. Friends from high school.
Oh, I know what her name is.
I can picture her. I think I know who
Yeah,
you're talking
she's
about.
been in several times.
She has kind of reddish curly hair.
Maybe. Maybe. All right. From here on out, we're going to do fine detail work. Not really that much detail, but we're going to do some white detail work. And not, when I say fine, I mean like little.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Kim's ours are 6,000 too. Yep. So insane. When I had mine in the, let's see, it would have been the late 80s. They were $3,000. I remember that. And also, when I got my wisdom teeth pulled, I remember it being $600, and now it's $4,000 for the kids to get their wisdom teeth pulled. It's insane. And the guy is like in and out. He comes in, he's like, "I'm like the Michael Jordan of pulling teeth," and then like 20 minutes later, your kids are done, and you're just hanging up.
He's good. He's good at what he does. All right, smallest brush, white paint. I'm just going to add a littlest amount of shimmer in these far back. And it's going to be kind of on the downside of each of these little bits. Because, yeah, because it's kind of like there's a shore that's casting a little bit of a shadow.
Sid never had braces. Had teeth pulled to make room in my mouth. Yep. That's nice that you didn't have to have them. A lot of times that will fix the problem. Did you have teeth pulled, Paul?
Yeah, I did back when I had that other, but those were baby teeth. Because I had a space maintainer for a while. All right, now I'm just going to add this little bit of, here's the top edge of the waterfall. This is kind of a less is more thing, y'all.
I think it may be due to the fact that we now have dental insurance and that causes the prices to explode. Just a thought. I think you're 100% correct. Because...
Well, like even my dentist, when I was in yesterday getting my teeth cleaned, they were like complaining about how the insurance doesn't cover anything. I'm like, well, maybe you charge too much.
Yeah.
We literally, so Jenny and I used to go to a dentist, maybe 15 years ago, and he had this.
More than that.
He had this little house, was his on the lake. That was his dental office in Lake Oswego, which is
the Beverly Hills of Oregon.
Beverly Hills of Lake Oswego of Oregon. His house, you sat in the dental chair and you're looking out across the lake. But the worst thing is there was one parking spot right by the front door, and that was his personal parking spot. I loved walking past his Aston Martin.
Yeah, and some days it was his Porsche.
And sometimes it was his Porsche.
You literally had to like squeeze by.
And I'm like going, I don't feel good about this dental bill when I just saw your car. That's just kind of mean, actually.
It is very mean.
So I'm just going to take a little bit of this on my brush, and I'm just going to kind of pat in some little bit of disturbance. Where this water's hitting, and I just like to kind of dab it in. This little dot. This isn't a big major rushing waterfall, but it does create a little bit of some disturbance. There's maybe a little shore interaction along here, a little shore interaction along there. But I don't want to get too, we can kind of, so we want to reflect this waterfall a little bit. So I'm just going to take a little bit of my color and just kind of create some reflection, just like so. I'm going to keep zoomed in on this part because let me slide my canvas down a little bit. I've kind of got this bright area up in here. that's going to reflect kind of down in here. So let's take our number 4. And I'm gonna mix up a real pale icy blue. And put it right here on the canvas where you guys can see it a little better.
You mean on the camera?
On the palette. And this should be, yeah, it's a little bit lighter than what we already kind of got going on. And what I'm gonna do is just kind of skim some of this in around here. And just kind of like break it up. So just leave little patches that kind of get a little further and farther between. So when we zoom out, so that's all I'm going to do there. I'm not going to do a lot. Zoom back out. I like how that looks. I like it a lot. And I feel like we need to kind of enhance this little cliff. I mean, you can take a little bit of this color, kind of add some little hints. Along all these edges a bit. Yeah, that looks good.
Is that part of the water over there?
Yeah. Or maybe it isn't. But I think in my world it is.
It looks like Bay Farm.
It totally does. New game on the Switch, y'all.
Bay Farm.
Check it out. We started playing it this week. We're trying to get Jenny to play it, but she's been passive about being involved. You did start, but got distracted.
I've been doing a lot of cooking. I made a homemade pizza from scratch.
Yeah, you stepped into my territory. And you did good.
That's
right.
what we were talking about with the routine with Hayden. Like, oh, would you like Mom to make this homemade dough a lot of the times, like on Fridays instead of Papa Murphy's? And what did you say?
He said it would be breaking from tradition.
That's such a, like, his little formal responses. That's one of the things that people who have Asperger's syndrome, their speech is very formal. And with Hayden, it's so funny. Like, he and I laugh about it. He thinks it's funny too. But,
I'm just adding some extra little texture in the sky here. Totally optional. Don't need to do it. But I did it.
Well, you did it. Now we all feel like
No, we all need to do it. Okay, so I feel like this is pretty good. I want to, what are we doing? We're an hour and a half. I don't really feel like there's a lot that needs to happen here. I am going to take.
Sid says, now it looks like the sheet of ice called my street.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sid, I actually can't believe that you walked out to your car yesterday and thought about it. Like you actually went out and warmed up your car. After you sent a picture of what your street looked like, I was like, I know you
have loyalty.
I know you've got some loyalty, and I know you've got experience having to be the one person out driving in the bad weather.
That's right. Yeah, former state trooper, right?
County. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Sid had to be out there with all the bad weather.
Like, she didn't get the option of staying home and working from home those days. Yeah, my sister's a badass. What can I say? Apparently, it's not in all of us. What's that you say? There might be some ice. Get out the hot cocoa. I'm sitting on the couch. We're going to play video games all day and cuddle up in fleece bank blankets and do our best to get our dogs to cuddle up with us.
That's right. That's very you.
I played a lot of virtual reality golf this week. All right, so I want to get a little bit of bright green in, and then we're done. So
Looks like you have a really dark shadow underneath that one tree.
yeah, but I did put it in.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Just
I
not as
missed that
dark.
part.
It's just not as dark.
I actually like it lighter.
Yeah, I like it lighter too. It feels more. I'll show you guys what Jenny's talking about. So the original has this really dark shadow, and it feels too dark. It's invasive. So this one's a little softer, still dark enough to be a shadow, but it feels like more like it belongs there.
I think you could use some like watered down paint to make that.
Or just don't use black.
Yeah, use one of those other black-like colors.
That's kind of my painting style.
Okay, Monet.
Okay, Monet. I was trying to figure out if we could do a Billy Idol Moni, but be like,
Monet.
here we come now, not using black now.
We'd have to look up the lyrics.
Yeah.
We're pretty good at that, coming up with lyrics.
All right, so I'm going to take my number 4. Little bit of our bright yellow, our process yellow, little bit of our cyan. That is way too intense, so we're going to add a little bit of ochre to it as well. There we go.
Oh, wait. I missed that. So you're using yellow, process yellow, cyan?
Yep, and ochre. And I'm just going to, let me zoom in.
Tree green.
Yeah, we don't want to use a lot of this because we don't want it to get too intense.
You just want some like pops?
Yeah, just some pops.
Is it just in these dark foreground trees?
Yep, just the dark foreground trees. We don't want to add, so when you go further away, you get desaturation of color. So you don't want to add other green in the background. And this is kind of going to lay in kind of underneath the snow. It should just be just the softest little whisper. Not a careless whisper. That would make a mess.
We watched an 80s movie that I didn't even know existed. And I'm curious if any of you guys, who a lot of you grew up in the 80s, watched it before. And it has Charlie Sheen in it, and it's called The Wraith. And I had never, ever heard of it until I saw some Facebook post about it. I'm like, okay, I gotta find this movie. Found it. It's on like Amazon Prime or something. I think that's what it was. And it was one of those that's like, so bad it's good. It's kind of sci-fi.
So Sally, yeah, there are instruction sheets for this one.
I need to upload this.
Yeah, but this first quarter of 2024, this last shipment that just went out, those are going to be the last instruction sheets we do.
Yeah, because we were paying our beloved graphic designer to do those, and it's just one of those things that we have to stop. Until, if we end up we're able to recoup some of our losses back, then Eric would love to do those again, like that we could, have them digital, and I would love to have him do them again because we adore Eric. He used to live up here, and he was one of my art teachers at the studio, and then he retired down to Palm Springs.
It was after an ice storm, and his
Ice
partner
Storm
said,
2020.
enough of this, we're out.
Well, they're both from California.
Yeah, they're both from
They just
California.
moved back.
But they're like, they loved Oregon until we got the ice storms. I'm going to just add a little.
Mickfoot's falling asleep from these snow boots. I have to stand up for a minute.
All right, I just added a little extra darkness. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I'd like to paint with you again. All right, I just like to just add a little.
Sid saw it forever ago. We enjoyed that. It was Greta and Paul and I watched it.
And then we watched April Fool's Day last night.
Yeah, that one's from 1986 also.
We're just,
They're hitting the 80s lately.
okay, so that now became too harsh. So, quick fix on that if you guys run into that. I'm gonna take my number 8. I'm gonna zoom in. Take a little bit of white. Very little bit. Just kind of soften that up a bit. And it's okay if you pull a little bit of the dark color down into the water. It's just reflection. All right, that's good. I'm happy with that. I am done with mine.
I am done with mine.
So I am going to sign mine, Mr. Shillman. Right here. I am going to move my paint. I'm going to move my palette. And I'm going to move my painting over, and we are going to bring Jenny's. You know, Jenny, I haven't really looked at your painting tonight. You copied me.
Where? What part?
Well, like literally, that's what you were supposed to do was copy me. I mean,
I don't
everybody's
see it.
everybody's going to copy.
I think my waterfall leaves a lot to be desired. I don't love it.
Mine's a
but
little.
I kind of like this area. You know where I got that from? Remember, I sent you a picture on Instagram the other day, and I said I love this guy's painting style, and he did this, like a sandy.
Yeah.
Painting.
Well, it's kind of like you just did like a little crisper version of what I did. But yeah, that's something. This actually is something this type of thing is something I've been doing for about 4 or 5 years, and it really is a pretty easy, but you kind of got to let go.
It says, did you know the girl from April Fool's Day is in the movie Valley Girl with Nicolas Cage? I'm all about the 80s movies. I'll have to see which girl. There's Muffy, and there's, what was the blonde girl's name? Do you remember, Greta? Greta? The earbuds.
Yeah.
AirPods. Earbuds.
They got AirPods for Christmas, and now they're deaf. So, all right, we ready to come back?
Yeah.
Let's open the blinds again.
Mm-hmm. Well, there we are. Oh, I don't
there
need
we
this
are.
anymore.
No.
I'm looking blurry up there.
So, I hope you guys enjoyed that one. I had a fun time painting it.
Kim says they're both beautiful. Yay.
We're all beautiful inside.
She meant the paintings.
Oh. Okay.
Did you think
I knew she
they're
meant
both beautiful?
I knew she
Thank
meant
you.
the paintings. I'm not that dense. I'm not that unfocused. Jeez. Anyway, thanks for joining us. We know we got things going late this month, and there's still 4 of you that haven't received your kits.
Yeah, we just were back ordered on some paint, and it just came in
It
today.
came in today,
As
and it
Paul
was
walking out.
yeah, it
of
was
the
too late
warehouse.
for me to get them out the door. So those will go out. I'll send those out on Monday or Tuesday. They're just people in Oregon, so you'll get them within a day. So you'll have them in time for Friday.
Thank you, Marlene.
See, I think I'm gonna have to move the globe up higher because it really reflects on my glasses. So,
All
which way
right,
we'll do.
so next Friday night, same time, 5:30 PST. We'll be painting the Blue Jay. I'm excited to do this one. I think their markings are so cool.
Yeah.
So we'll have fun with that. The tree and background are very easy, so the focus is all on the bird.
Yep. I actually saw one the other day when I was driving home from work. It looked just like that.
Aww.
Sitting on a fence post.
I don't see them very often. They kind of remind me of the blue version of like cardinals.
Well, they're very closely related.
Yeah, very similar shape and everything. Oh, thank you, Kim. Yeah, we'll have a better week for sure. It wasn't even horrible. Like
No, it was just kind of like.
kind of mind scattery.
Yeah, it's like I would rather have 20 inches of just snow than what we had this week, because at least you can go out and enjoy it or go for walks in it. Like you can't even walk in the stuff we had.
No.
So
It's melting off and will be gone.
yeah, it's supposed to be like upper 50s next week. So
Banana belt.
it's a banana belt.
So we will see you guys next Friday. It's like the 26th or 27th.
26th.
remember.
Yep.
And happy painting.
Happy
Post your
painting.
paintings. Yes, Sid, I can't wait to see your painting. Thank you, Susan, for sticking with us and staying up late. And we'll keep in touch and see you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye.